Welcome to The Polity, coming to you from the Abuja studio of KAFTAN television. And of course, you know that The Polity has to do with trending issues in the polity, like the name suggests. And we take them with guests usually. And I do hope that very shortly my guest will be joining me. My name is Dayo Omogwan. I hope that you've been having a beautiful day out there. Like I say all the time, just in case your day has been drab, I give you an assurance that before the program is through, you should be in high spirit, you should be in good spirit, because you'll be blessed with information, education, enlightenment, and of course once in a while some splash of humor, jokes here and there, and you can be sure that all that mix is some kind of tonic that turns around, that has a way of igniting joy, happiness in the environment. Yes, take it from me, it works. Okay, so today we are going to be talking about the elections in 2027. From all indications, from most people, from most pundits, the feeling is that 2027 is a forgotten. The foregone conclusion is that APC will win without much struggle. But there are a few persons who also hold the other opinion, a contrary opinion, believing that something is still possible that will make the party lose the presidency in 2027. Maybe some people say such people are very big dreamers. There are people who can't believe anything. You know how I think it was James Hadley Chase who had one of his books, one of his titles as "Believe This, You'll Believe Anything." Well, I do not know the basis, but of course, like I also am a believer in miracles. I believe that everything, anything is possible given the right conditions, given the right environment, given the right push. So this afternoon we will be looking at how invincible is the APC in 2027. So the topic is upstaging the APC in 2027. What is the role of diverse groups? The coalition party, for example, what do they need to do? And is it possible, is it feasible in the first instance? Is it feasible to have APC upstaged in 2027? Or is it fait accompli? So this is what we intend to talk about with my guest, and I do want to believe that very shortly he'll join me for that. So let's talk a little while before I go on a break. But let's talk a little while first. So APC, as of today, I think has about 30 states in its kitty. I mean the governors of 30 states are members, of the party, of the APC, the ruling party at the center. In the last how many months, several of the governors who used to, or who got their tickets through the PDP have found one reason or the other to defect to the ruling party. We've had the Enugu governor, Mba. We've had the most recent, I think, is the Plateau State governor, and you've had Siminalayi Fubara of Rivers State. We've had, I think, Kefas of Taraba State. We've had several, Bayelsa, and so on and so forth. And most of the persons I have just mentioned came into government through other tickets, mostly the PDP. Now, as we speak, it looks like there's tremendous pressure for the one in Abia State, Alex Oti, to also follow suit. But thus far, he's been putting up a fight and saying no, he was not going to change party. And so this is where we are, 30 governors in the kitty. So you have six governors in the other parties. In fact, as we speak, the NNPP governor of Kano State, Abba Yusuf, is also on his way to the APC from all indications, from all feelers, reports that are in the media space. So a whole number are gone. So I do not know, because we play politics of structure, and usually the structure in the states is operated by the governor, and in situations where the governor especially is is an aspiring governor for the second term, it's a little bit difficult for the governor to lose the state. Yeah, there have been a few cases here and there, but I'm saying on the general note that it's usually a hard task. And so if anyone is saying that APC can be upstaged, yes, I believe in miracles, but at the same time, we will need to hear what are the strategies. What exactly would you sell? Who will you sell it to? So these are some of the issues, but somebody will tell me, somebody will say, after all, in 2015, Jonathan was upstaged, the PDP was upstaged, and they had whether 20-something, whether 24 governors at the time, PDP. But again, there are several factors that must be taken into consideration in this kind of discourse. You would recall that at the point, even the PDP was having issues from within. Within itself, there was no peace, there was no true peace. I mean, there was a whole lot of turmoil inside the house, within the camp of the PDP, and that manifested in the results that we finally got at the polls, because several key figures, it's rumored or reported that several key figures, people you would think are the pillars of the PDP, did the party in and gave support to the APC, which enabled it to clinch power in that year. So the scenarios are not the same. That's the point I'm trying to make. The scenarios are not the same, and so it's not something that will come easy, if it's going to come at all. So that's what we intend to talk about, and very shortly I do hope that we're able to go full swing into the talk after the break. I'll take a break now.
While wrapping up the day, unwind with the
Hello, I'm Abdulwahid Obushiri, former National President, Nigeria Union of Journalists (NUJ), one-time President, Federation of African Journalists (FAJ), a former Executive Council member, International Federation of Journalists (IFJ), member, International Press Institute (IPI), a former Commissioner for Information and Strategy in Ogun State. With over 4 decades practice as a journalist and still counting, firing on all cylinders at KAFTAN television, where I invite you to not only watch and enjoy, but imagine a beautiful world. Keep watching. Hello, I'm Abdulwahid Obushiri, former National President, Nigeria Union of Journalists (NUJ), one-time President, Federation of African Journalists (FAJ), a former Executive Council member, International Federation of Journalists (IFJ), member, International Press Institute (IPI), a former Commissioner for Information and Strategy in Ogun State. With over 4 decades practice as a journalist,
Imagine a beautiful world. That's our slogan.
So sorry about that break. We had to fix a few things, and let's make a little progress right now. So you're on to KAFTAN Television. The program is The Polity, and we're broadcasting live from the Abuja studio. The name of the presenter this afternoon is Dayo Omogun. And so let's go back to where we were before. I was talking about the feeling that the 2027 elections is as good as won and lost if you go by certain statistics, if you go by certain realities. If you have 30 governors out of 36, or maybe out of 37 if you add the FCT, where we have a minister rather than a governor, that's huge if every one of them is going to be mobilizing for just one party. And we do know that incumbency is a very powerful factor in Nigerian politics. And if you have incumbent governors in 30 states out of 37, it seems to give the impression that those 30 states are won already. And what does it take to win elections in Nigeria? It's just 24 states, actually. It's 24 states. Once you win, if I recall, 25% of each of those states, 24, and you have majority votes. I mean, it is done. The deal is done. So anybody could be justified to already give it to the ruling party as of now. And when you also look at the fact that the opposition has been in disarray for quite some time, that also tends to strengthen the position that there's no shaking, if you like we say in Nigeria, there's no shaking for the party, that is for the APC. But of course, one of the beauties of democracy is that there will always be someone or a set of people who do not go along with the ruling party. In fact, that's the beauty of democracy, the fact that you can have alternatives, the fact that you can say no after a certain point, after each cycle of elections. You can say, no, we've had enough of this, let's get something else. That's what makes democracy so very alluring, so very attractive. So, but there are a few persons who say, no, the fact that those things look that way, all that glitters is not gold. Sometimes what's glittering could have a lot more of bronze, if you like. And so it's not a constant, it's not given. So this is where what we want to talk about. And so from your own perspective, do you think there's anything that could happen to make the APC lose in 2027? Does it look as, is there any possibility of such from the look of everything, look of things? PDP's, permit me to use the word comatose state, also strengthens that position. If you want to begin to compare 2015 and now, there's really nothing, if you ask me, I think that there's really nothing so similar. I talked about the party, the ruling party in 2015 was disheveled, was disunited. They went into the election disunited. They went into the election with various interests. They went into the election with without a common front. There were several. First of all, there was also the some people who took the position of revolting, if you like, against the president of that time, because they felt that he was not justified to take a second term, having spent the concluding part of President Yar'Adua, and so it was like he had already done 3 years or so, or 2 years, and then another 4 years. That was 6 years. So legally speaking, it was like if he does another 4 years, that would be 10 years, whereas the maximum time that any elected official is expected to spend is 8 years of 2 terms of 4 years apiece. And so there were all kinds of contending issues within the party. There were, I mean, several issues, and shortly before then, a few splinter groups from the party emerged. You had the new PDP. All of that put pressure on the party. All of that, I mean, were very injurious blows on the party, and that, to a large extent, must have accounted for the results that we saw. Yes, so I do not know. There are no, how do you compare the two? Now you have a party that seems to be at least a lot more united than PDP was in 2015. You have an opposition that's weakened, that's like non-existent, apart from the ADC just coming on board recently. And how much time does ADC have to strategize and execute his strategy? How much time? We have about a year to go before the elections. And so if you want to compare the two, the APC was formed in 2013. That was 2 years before election. Or, I mean, they got registered by INEC in 2013. So you had 2 clear years ahead. Now you have 1 year, barely 1 year to go, and you are coming from, it looks like, for the most part, like a marriage of convenience. So how much, and don't also forget, even the ADC has some issues. There are people who are trying to pull at it and say they don't quite agree with the way that some people came in and sort of took over control. Don't forget, the ADC had been in existence for quite some time, but it was among the parties that hogged the background, not in the limelight like some of these other parties. But the moment these people moved over, ADC became a party enjoying some level of limelight. So all of that needs to be looked at in trying to get to whatever conclusion. My hopes that my guest is able to make it so that he can put some substance to what they believe. So I think that at this point I want to also go on another break, and hopefully he should be able to join me by the time I'm returning. I do hope so.
Hello, I'm Abdulwahid Bushiri, former National President, Nigeria Union of Journalists (NUJ), one-time President, Federation of African Journalists (FAJ), a former Executive Council member, International Federation of Journalists (IFJ), member, International Press Institute (IPI), a former Commissioner for Information and Strategy in Ogun State. With over 4 decades practice as a journalist and still counting, firing on all cylinders at KAFTAN television, we invite you to not only watch and enjoy, but imagine a beautiful world. Keep watching. Hello, I'm Abdulwahid Bushiri, former National President, Nigeria Union of Journalists (NUJ), one-time President, Federation of African Journalists (FAJ), a former Executive Council member, International Federation of Journalists (IFJ), member, International Press Institute (IPI), a former Commissioner for Information and Strategy in Ogun State. With over 4 decades practice as a journalist and still counting, firing on all cylinders at KAFTAN television, we invite you to not only watch and enjoy, but imagine a beautiful world. Keep watching. Hello, I'm Abdulwahid Odushile, former National President, Nigeria Union of Journalists (NUJ), one-time President, Federation of African Journalists (FAJ), a former Executive Council member, International Federation of Journalists (IFJ), member, International Press Institute (IPI), a former Commissioner for Information and Strategy in Ogun State. With over 4 decades practice as a journalist and still counting, firing on all cylinders at KAFTAN television, we invite you to not only watch and
Welcome back to the Polity, coming to you live from the Abuja studio of KAFTAN Television. And now, I guess my guest is having some challenges, but we've just got to go. And so I invite you to be a part of this discussion. And the number to call is 08029938365. Now, so you can see the topic on the screen. It says, Upstaging the APC in 2027. What's the role of coalition and Nigerians in diaspora? Now, so here we go again. As I said, like I said before, I'm one of millions of Nigerians who think that it's a late start. It's a late start for the opposition that is trying to contend with an APC that is not only far gone, but looks like it's even more wily politically than its opponents. And so it will take a whole lot to be able to upstage this kind of a party. Now, again, the personal traits of some of the key figures involved in the current dispensation, when compared to what we have in 2015, I think are miles apart. So you probably are talking, I mean by that I mean that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a more politically sophisticated, wily, shrewd person than whatever credentials you want to give to a Goodluck Jonathan. There's no doubt about it. And then don't forget, talking political structure also, talking political strategy, talking political tactics. You must give it to this president that he looks like, I want to be guided, that's why I say he looks like he knows his onions. And this is someone who, you know how ironical the whole scenario is looking. This is one president who, as governor, stood, against the force of the Obasanjo presidency, refused to leave his party. Not only did he maintain his party, he also made sure that in subsequent, he began to rebuild the structure, and before you know it, they began to regain some of the places they had already lost. Even when he was the only person remaining in his former party, he stood there. Even when the presidency of the President Olusegun Obasanjo regime sort of tried to deny him of resources because he created some local community development associations, LCDAs, if I remember well, yes, which, as far as the federal government was concerned, was not right. And so because of that, their allocations were being withheld for several months. And this man insisted and stood there. I mean, funny enough, there is no such situation. And you find all the governors, some of them doing very well in their various states and domains. You find them, I mean, they've all bolted out of their party and walked into the ruling party. It's very funny how we have leaders who, some people have said, I don't know, spineless. Because, I mean, if you're doing well, if you believe in what you're doing, if you believe in the people, if you believe that votes will count, there are several states whose governors have defected in this current dispensation that you wonder why. You wonder why. There are states that used to be traditionally PDP that it will take, and because the governor was also doing fairly well, you wonder, so why is this man crossing over? But, well, people have said it's for personal reasons. It's for personal aggrandizement reasons. Else, I do not see any reason why a number of those governors would defect. But here we are. That's the situation. That's what we have on ground. That's our reality. And so we must work with the reality rather than the dream. Yes, we will dream. We will have the ideal. We will try to push for the dream. But, I mean, in actual work, even if you're going to achieve the dream, you would have to do a whole lot to change what the reality is. So the reality today is that the Tinubu administration or the Tinubu political machine has taken over almost everywhere. Imagine, I mean, I do not remember hearing that before, that a governor will defect with the entire coterie of appointees and the party structure. I don't know whether that has happened before. Where you had, for example, I think it was Delta State that started it, and Akwa Ibom tried to follow suit, and so on. So the entire party, the chairman of the party, the deputy governor, the commissioners, all the appointees, and I mean, so that's something significant. It says a whole lot about the kind of support that this president tends to enjoy. And so if you have that happening in Delta, that happening in Akwa Ibom, and some other states, it's a signal that you have a lot of work to do if you're going to upstage such a party. It looks as if he's got his claws right dug into the floor. So I don't know how this is going to be. So my guest, I have to take up this, but because my guest is not showed up. So now, if you ask me, I would say that upstaging the APC is going to be a hell of a job. It's going to be very difficult. And by the way, you could join me straight away. 080-299-38365 is the number. I'd really love to hear your perspective. This should be a very interesting topic. I'm sure there are people who are very optimistic, people who believe in the miraculous, and who probably also hold the view that APC, in spite of all the appearances, can still be upstaged. So what exactly do you think? Do you think the APC can be upstaged? Do you think it's a done deal for the APC, that 2027 is as good as won and lost? That's what many people believe, and I don't blame anybody for believing that, because all of the statistics seem to be in favor of the Tinubu group, the APC. So let's have your take. 0029938 and 365. Now, well, I do not foresee an implosion suddenly of the APC, and if there is no implosion, if most of the governors are in the party, if you have crisis in the major opposition party that has reduced it to like non-existent, if you have the other, if you go further afield, the opposition is just trying to put something together, and this is about a year from the election period. For me, I think that I also join the people who say that it's as good as done. Yes. I do not know the kind of magic. Okay, somebody will say yes. In 2015, PDP also had majority of the governors, but not as high as this. 24 and 30 is a huge difference. That's one. And the ruling party of that time was in serious turmoil. So that's not the case with the APC. I mean, a whole lot of things that are quite different. So I do not think that a comparison between the two is quite is appropriate. So this is what I believe. What do you believe? Let's have your take so we can rub minds together and see. Okay, someone's here. Yeah, so someone's here. Hello. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. What's your name and where you're calling from?
I'm calling from Kogi State. I'm starting
No, but there's no noise here.
All right. Most of the governors are not doing well. Number one. Number two.
Yeah.
It's only God that cannot be defeated. I believe that.
All right.
Because you see, most of the governors have skeleton in their cupboard. Most of them are afraid of EFCC after their tenure. If you get it right.
All right. So
For the ruling party. It's just because most of them, they can't stand the crowd, come to the primary or whatever. They are looking for automatic tickets. And most of them cannot get it. If you have 10 people in your party that is looking for automatic tickets and one have it, there will still be a crisis in the same party. That is my contribution for now.
fantastic, Sunday. Yeah, so it's only God that cannot be defeated. One of the major words on marble that I will take from Sunday. It says it's only God that cannot be defeated. So APC can't be defeated. So that's the stand of Sunday. You've heard him. What's your own stand? 002993835. He says a lot of the governors have skeletons in their cupboards. They are afraid of EFCC. That's why they are running and jumping into the ruling party. Well, I don't know, but let's hear from you. So they are afraid. They want to get automatic tickets. But if they want to get automatic ticket, will that not have been easier in their original parties? I don't know. So many questions that one can begin to ask. So let's have you. Sunday just made his point, and from Kogi State. Let's have some other people. The number remains 08029938365. All right. Now, so let's look at what Sunday just said. Indeed, I agree that it's only God that cannot be defeated. Many times when it looks as if you are good, everything is working for you, you can suddenly find out that something, just a little something, happens, and what you thought was going to be a walkover becomes a struggle. So he has a good point. And then he's saying also that the governors, the reason, he says they are not doing well. Yeah, he says they're not doing well. So if they're not doing well, and if indeed votes do count, it's likely, I'm just extrapolating, I'm just from what he has said, it's likely that most of the people of the states will not follow them into the, will not support them into the new party. Is that what you're saying? Now, so these are very powerful interventions, and I do hope that someone can also lend his voice from wherever you are. 080-299-38365. So now, I think I also agree that a lot of the governors are not doing well. If you consider that a lot more resources are going to them. Now, again, one has to be guided in saying a lot more resources are going to them, because if you were giving someone $1,000 at the rate of 400 to a dollar, and you now have to give the same, or you have to give even 4,000 at the rate of 1,400, it's still a shortfall, as it were. Yeah, practically, it's still, I mean, net effect is still less, value is less. So, or purchasing power is less. But let's look at it on the face of it. They are getting a whole lot more money than they used to get. And it doesn't seem to translate to development or better life for the people. So, that's the point Sonny just made. Could this trigger the people into abandoning them? Do you think so? Well, we'll wait and see. But we do know that in Nigeria, many times, votes don't really count, except if this is going to be different. Votes do not really count. There are all kinds of manipulations. There are all kinds of malpractices. There are all kinds of efforts to truncate the smooth conduct of elections in our jurisdiction here, and that to a extent determines what is eventually declared. And then also we have an issue, the issue of transmitting results manually, when because there's an ambivalence in the law that talked about electronic transmission. So when you allow institutions to be discretionary in places where they ought to be definite, that creates a problem of its own, which is what we're experiencing, which is why they can always use that laxity, that lacuna to manipulate and get away with whatever that's of interest to them. So this is very critical. This is very, very important, that many times votes do not so much count. And probably that's the reason that people can do as they please, because at the end they know that they can handcuff the system. Yes, you can have a way by which you can twist the system and get what you want. So I think that this is the real problem. I think that this is the thing that needs to be tamed, so that we can truly have a proper electoral process that is fair, that is free, that is credible. Else, we'll continue to have this kind of problems. We'll continue to have controversial election results. We'll continue to have rigging in different kind of ways. We'll continue to have voter apathy, and so on and so forth. So I I'm of the opinion. My opinion is different from Sonny's opinion. Well, so I'm one of you. So let's talk. 08029938865, and let's see what you've got. Let's hear what you've got. But for me, I think that we have a situation that is very, very difficult to tackle. And this is not to create fear, and this is not to intimidate or support anybody. I believe that if you have the truth, it helps you to know what you are up against. Yeah, so it's not as if any party, any side is being promoted or is being given advantage to, but it's important that what is true, I mean, what is reality, is put right there on the table as reality, so you can deal with it, so you know what exactly, you know, I've always believed that the truth heals, and then, but lies or half lies, half truths have a way of caressing you, whereas the ulcer grows, the wound festers, the injury expands, and at the end, it leads to a loss, it leads to a greater pain, it leads to a greater destruction, whereas the truth would have led you on the path of recovery, the path of healing, the path of winning. So if you are told that, oh, my friend, you are losing, it's not as if that's to strengthen the other party. It's to let you know your status, and it's to let you know what exactly you should be doing to correct the challenge, the perceived challenge. So, right, we have a few more minutes to go, and I'll be glad if you would participate in this. Yes, I'll be glad if you can just call in and let us have your opinion. The number remains 080. You know, ordinarily 2993835. That's the number, 08029938365. Now, so the coalition, the ADC coalition, has a huge role to play, and some Nigerians in diaspora are saying that they could also join forces with the coalition to bring about the expected change. Unfortunately, my guest is not here. I do hope that it is well with him wherever he is, and that maybe we can do this some other time. But he is of the opinion that if the diasporans, if the Nigerians in diaspora join forces with the coalition, that they can wrest power from the APC come 2027. It would have been lovely, it would have been really great to hear from him, but I guess fate has decided otherwise. So we take it the way we have seen it, and I hope that you will. I mean, it's not us; it's the guests, and anything could happen beyond your plans. That's what has happened today. Another caller's here. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to the Polity. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Oh, okay. All right. Eso Dudu. Go ahead.
Yes, Eso Dudu calling from Cross River State.
Right.
Please confirm if you are hearing me.
Clearly, I can hear you.
Hello, can you hear me?
Clearly, I can hear you clearly.
Oh my God. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, yes. I'm nodding to you. I'm nodding in agreement. Oh, no. That means there's a real challenge with the network. Very clear. Eso Dudu, if you can hear me, I was hearing you clearly and I was responding to you. So please do call back if you can. Okay.
Hello.
I can hear you. Go ahead, please.
Oh, this is fantastic now. Imagine a beautiful Nigeria with KAFTAN television.
All right. Okay.
Good afternoon to you, Mr. Dayo.
Good afternoon.
Our wonderful host.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to our esteemed viewers, both within and outside the country.
All right.
Beautiful topics this afternoon on the politics. The topic is apt, sincerely speaking. And from all indications, we are aware that if the APC
campaign now, 2027. I hope you are hearing me.
Clear, yes.
They are campaigning based on what they have done.
Yes.
They will promise based on consolidation of what they have already done.
Yes.
Why is the coalition like the ADC want to campaign? They will campaign based on where they notice some challenges on the APC policies, and they will promise Nigeria what they will do. So now, if the coalition and the Nigerians in the diaspora sincerely come together, I think the game 2027 will be very hot. Why? We are all aware of the policies of APC since 2023, ranging from the economy and other things, most especially the economy, the petroleum subsidy, the naira floating, and its multiplier effects on the economy and effects on the ordinary Nigerian. Now, look at what is happening. The governors are jumping ship. They are moving from one party to another. They are defecting, but Nigerians are not defecting. That is one thing that is basic. I am a card-carrying member of APC. But we have to call a spade a spade and not a farming implement. Nigerians are not decamping. But if we want to be very frank by appraising this government, the government has tried anyway. But relatively, as it affects the ordinary Nigerian, there are a lot of challenges. If the government can do this, can be able to do some, can have a change in most of their policies and programs, this 2026, I think they can still have a way. But I doubt, because if you look at campaign, they have started campaigning since last year. So this year, 2026, I don't think they can even do anything again. They want to continue with what they have started. But look at what is happening. The ADC, sincerely, they need to do a thorough job by picking what they think that this government promised Nigeria and they have not been able to actualize, and begin to hit. And then tell Nigeria this is what they have to present or to do different. If they can do this, well, Nigerians will see them, they are genuine in their promises. Nigerians will see them and decide, because Nigerians...
Don't you think, Esodudu, don't you think that it's too late in the day? I mean, it's just barely 1 year from elections.
Well, if you ask me, I will say it is late. But in another way around, I will say it is not late. Why? Because in politics, a minute or 24 hours can change a whole lot of things politically. Mr. Dyer, you are aware.
Sure.
And having considered what is happening in the country now, Nigerians are actually, if you say suffering, is an understatement. It's an understatement of which you are aware. Suffering is an understatement. And if you look at what is happening on the area of the removal of fuel subsidy, personally, I expect that money would have been injected into the economy and not given to our emperors in the States to be changing or converting to dollars, buying properties outside the country, allegedly anyway. But if you look at now, if you say it is late, just as I said earlier, it is not late, Mr. Dayo, it is not late. Because the election is all about Nigerians deciding comes 2027. Because it's all about the future of Nigeria. And I want to tell Nigerians that are listening to us in this program, both within and outside the country, they should be very, very careful. The future of Nigeria is hanging. And we must try to do away with this, our mindset of saying that let's allow this person to go and complete the remaining 4 tenures. Look at if you look at what is happening in some southwest states like Ekiti. If you look at since with the return to this and that was they call it nascent democracy, but I would say it is no longer nascent.
It's no longer nascent. Yeah.
A 27 years old guy is already
an adult. Yeah.
Yes, at age. So now by 2027, we have to be very careful. If you know that a governor or any of the elected representatives we have entrusted with our mandate 2027 are not performing, there is no need to say let's allow the person to go and finish.
Let me ask you quickly.
You are very free, Mr.
Yes.
Tayo.
Some people say that if it happened before, it can happen again. That after all, it happened in 2015 with President Goodluck Jonathan and Buhari took over power, and that it could also happen right now. But I know that you are a student of the politics of Nigeria, and you've been following. Do you think that these scenarios are similar?
Yes, if you look at the scenario, it is similar.
Are they really?
Why? Because why do I say it is similar? If you look at in the area of insecurity, in the area of economy, majorly, remember the subsidy reinvestment program that Jonathan came up with then?
Yeah.
You remember?
Shopee.
These are things that actually caused Jonathan to actually lose the election. And the deceit that some governors and some aides were deceiving him. And similar thing is playing out now.
Do you think so?
Mr. Dayo, similar thing is playing out now. They are deceiving the president. The president is away since 25th or thereabout. He's not back to the country, and he failed to even to transmit power to the vice. I don't know, but the country is moving because we in Nigeria we are already adjusting. But now look at if you compare what happened in 2015 and now, it is similar because it is the same thing that Nigerians were facing then that we are facing now. And the only thing that can save this APC government, forget about this shenanigans of defection that is happening. The only thing that can save this APC government is genuine commitment to Nigerians that yes, they want to change by this year to next year. If not, I'm telling you, Mr. Tayo, as a card-carrying member of APC since 2013, 2014, if they don't change, obviously, and the coalition gather momentum and they begin to do what Lai Mohammed was doing there in 2015 or 2014, 2015 to the PDP government, and the Nigerians in diaspora actually come up with forces to support this coalition, and Nigerians that are in the village, just like me, just like your brother in Dode, just like the local woman in Utoke, just like the local woman in maybe let's say part of Boko in Benue State, and far in Zamfara that are facing insecurity, where bandits are moving with guns, killing DPO, wearing the uniform, coming to negotiation. Nigerians will decide. Nigerians will decide.
All right.
They set this APC government to the needful.
Do the needful.
Thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity.
Thank you very much.
KAFTAN TV. Thank you, the management of KAFTAN TV. Nigeria will be great again.
All right. Nigeria will be great again. That's what S.O. Dudu has to say as his closing line. And so I also believe that Nigeria will be great again. But I think that we will need to begin to round up right now. But if you still want to call, we have a few minutes. And the number is 08029938365. So I'm here to pick your call. But just before your call comes in, I hope that you took in some of the very important points that S.O. Dudu from Cross River made. That the party in power at the center should not, he didn't expect them to hand over the proceeds that came from the removal of subsidy to governors. He expected that that would be channeled, would be invested into development that will make life better for Nigerians. He has identified that if you look at the economy, if you look at the security challenge that we're facing, that it is similar to what was obtainable in 2015, and that if they can get someone, that is the opposition, if they can get someone of the skill or style of Lai Mohammed, and who will poke holes into whatever the ruling party does, and will be very passionate about it, very passionate, very articulate about it, that anything is possible. He has also said, for example, that it is not late. I feel that it is late. Even the APC that had such a testimony in 2015 got registered in 2013. That was 2 clear years before the election. But now we have barely 1 year, and yet some people say it's not too late. And like you said, and which is true, 24 hours is a long time in politics. I personally experienced it before. I was involved in a group in some election, and everything looked okay. It looked as if it was just for us to get there, and then the results are announced. But guess what? These people had gone in the cover of night to various places to try to speak with them. In some places, drop gifts, and so on and so forth. And so by the next day, what we thought was a done deal became a broken deal, became an unassailable deal, became a nightmare, became like catching air. So, indeed, he's correct, absolutely is correct, that 24 hours is a long time when things can be changed in politics. So if you now have 1 year, that's still good enough time as far as it's concerned. And of course, they all point to the fact that there might be a crisis brewing quietly in the APC, which will ultimately spill over and which will affect its chances either now or in the administration of the second term. So these are some of the points that have been made. We have like 1 or 2 minutes to go, and I encourage you to still call so we can hear your perspective. I've told you mine. Any party, any group that will upstage APC in 2027 has to really sit up, has to really sit up and do the needful, do their homework, make sure that their strategy is tight, make sure that they have funding. Now, don't forget that the ruling party has access to funds. I don't know how, but ruling parties generally have more funds than other parties. You can you can Google it, I don't know. Now, so that is very important. In our politics, a lot of money is involved. Somebody was saying just to get House of Representatives, he was told that 100 million or 150 million will not cut it. So you can understand from there that the presidency will be several times more than that. Now, I think that what any party should be doing, opposition parties should be doing, is to fill the spaces below the presidency, is to attempt to narrow the numbers that the current ruling party has in the Senate, the numbers they have in the House of Reps, try to get some good numbers in the state houses of assembly, try to get back a few states as governors so that they can plan towards the other year. That's my very honest thinking, so they can work towards 2031, because I do know that elections in this country are not won by mere rhetoric. They are not won by platitudes. And so there's a whole lot of work, a whole lot that goes into it. And so any dream of upstaging them requires a lot of work to accomplish. That's my take. I don't know what your take is for those of you who have not called or who were unable to get through. But I know that most Nigerians, in fact, helplessly believe what I am saying. Many of them would want a different story, but they have concluded, most people have believed that it's just not possible. Again, like S.O. Dudu said, I also am one person who believes that there are a few things that this government has done right, but it may not be enough to, I don't know, it's a difficult one. It's a difficult one. I need to be very guided. Now, so, for example, I'm sure that students who have benefited from NEL Fund will always applaud this government, and so on and so forth. So, but of course, there's a whole lot that's still not been done. So that is what the opposition will need to milk, will need to mine, and use in executing its campaign and its strategy to see if the dream is possible. I'm going to leave it here. My name is Dayo Omogwan. I want to say thank you to everyone who has made this program successful. The production team, thank you so very much. And you viewers, you make it happen. Thank you very much. I also would like to send a shout out to the guest, and I do hope that you're doing okay, you are in good shape where you are. We can talk about any other issue later, but I just hope that you're safe. And that will be it. And it's bye from Dayo. By the way, please join me at 8 o'clock for Matters Arising. Yes. And it's bye for now from Dayo Omogun. Bye-bye.